Hey, hello, you look familiar, have I made up with you before? Let's just be serious, kabla uanze tukunipo. Nionyeshe Insta labda nitakukumbuka hivyo. Oh, hey, hello, sikuamini lakini ni kama nimeona ghost. Miezi mbili ndio maana siwezi pita kino. Na tangu lini ukaanza kuwa na story mob? Lakini walai siwezi mind tukienda drinks. Walai na beshte yangu bado takumit. Walai ni wapi ulienda for real? For real. Lakini walai siwezi mind tukienda drinks. Walai na beshte yangu bado takumit. Walai ni wapi ulienda for real? For real. My pride is there, don't play, don't even dare. You don't play fair, so hey, there's something here, there's something there, overlaid. It's like a different kind of weather. Hey, my heart is there, my pride is there, don't play, don't even dare. You don't play fair, so hey, there's something here, there's something there, overlaid. It's like a different kind of weather. Lakini walai siwezi mind tukienda drinks. Walai na beshte yangu bado takumit. Walai ni wapi ulienda for real? For real. Lakini walai siwezi mind tukienda drinks. Walai na beshte yangu bado takumit. Walai ni wapi ulienda for real? For real. Lakini walai siwezi mind tukienda drinks. Walai na beshte yangu bado takumit. Walai ni wapi ulienda for real? For real. Lakini walai siwezi mind tukienda drinks. Walai na beshte yangu bado takumit. Walai ni wapi ulienda for real? For real. Go fit, Allah, go fresh, Allah. Lakini bana, din west, bana. Go fit, Allah, go fresh, Allah. Lakini bana, din west, bana.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Our radio.
Ngati kwanu sandifuna. Baby, we can go Uganda. We gon' leave Malawi. Tizaenda fire Zambia. We can use my Mututa. Tiza isandusa nyumba. Cause I love you so much, oh. I want to be with you so bad, oh. Can you come with me if we run, oh? We can settle somewhere else. We can
sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Umenitesa nimetosheka, roho imezoea, ukitoka ninajua leo sitatulia. Kile nafikiria huna idea, yale napitia I know you know. I watch you put on makeup, standing by the mirror, your vibration is familiar. Yeah, it's a trigger, nakumbuka ukiweza kunifurahia. I wish you would stay, but I know you moved on. Nakujua tena sana, nikikuona najua kile unawaza. And you know, naeza jua ukidanganya. So I find it so confusing when you lie, love. It gets so lonely, usiku tanipata na mawazo. You say you love me, but najua uliniachanga kitambo. Najua uliniachanga kitambo. Oh, najua uliniachanga kitambo. Nimezeeka, so sitakasirika. Nimeona ya dunia, sitalipishia. Ukitenda utatendwa, kwanza na unayempenda. Binadamu akiumia, bado atarudia. Nakujua tena sana, nikikuona najua kile unawaza. And you know, naeza jua ukidanganya. So I find it so confusing when you lie, love. It gets so lonely, usiku tanipata na mawazo. You say you love me, but najua uliniachanga kitambo. Najua uliniachanga kitambo. Oh, najua uliniachanga kitambo. Oh, it gets so lonely, usiku tanipata na mawazo. You say you love me, but najua uliniachanga kitambo. Najua ushamua misi wako.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
All right, very good morning, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Power Morning Drive Show, where you make your mornings count. With me, Wanyoike. You are listening in to Power Radio. This is where you tune in and power up. Happy Monday. It is the 29th of September. I do not know where that month has gone, but now here we are. Pretty much left with only 3 months to 2025. How are your what are those things that we put when, your New Year's resolutions? Thank you to my producer. Your New Year's resolutions, how are they going? And now that we are almost done with the year, I don't even know whether we can call them New Year's resolutions anymore. They are just resolutions or plans that we had put together to hopefully execute. But I can tell you for sure, I have not even done any of mine, including hitting the gym, which has not happened. But we move regardless. Remember, you can get in touch with us on our social media handles. We are at Power Radio across all socials. You can also call in live and text us on our number 0748 379 231. You can also find us on our website www.power254.org/Power Radio. You can also hit me up directly on my I'm on X at the Wanyoike directly. Of course, Kamakawa, we start off with what's happening on the roads this morning, and it being a Monday, and then it being salary Monday. You know, the crazy nightmare that is happening on our roads today. So we'll get into traffic updates. Then later on, we get into what's making the news roundup. Of course, the big story today, it being the 29th of September, the IEBC has officially opened the portal for voter registration. I think that's something that we have to be talking about. I'll also tell you what you need to check out. We are running a digital campaign on voter registration as Power Radio in conjunction with Power 254. We will talk a little bit about that and why it is you need to get yourself getting into the voter registration bandwagon. We'll also tell you how exactly you can get to know what do you need to carry, what are some of the things that you need to know so that you can not be left behind in this bandwagon. Alrighty, so then later on, I am joined by the one, the only Razini. Now, if this is not a name that you know, first of all, that means that you live under a rock, and that's fine. You will get to know him in a short while. His official name is Wafula Mututa, ile ya M-Pesa. And he's doing some pretty cool things. We are going to be talking a little bit about how he is leading a movement that wants to make integrity cool again. And so he's going to be joining us rather shortly. But for now, let me get into some traffic updates, and then we will get into all that jazz soon and very soon. Alrighty, we start off with Thika Superhighway. And I can see from where I am, there's a lot of traffic this morning. I think the build-up starts all the way from Kasarani today. And as you make your way towards town, same situation also happening along Kiambu Road. The situation starts just as you leave the Northern Bypass intersection that leaves from Dindigwa, making your way towards Ridgeway Mall. Iyo area yote, DCI, absolute chaos. Again, I said it's a Monday, and I've never quite understood what that usually means, but Mondays are usually very hectic. Let's see. Limuru Road is also not looking any better. From Village Market, as you make your way towards the Karura into Muthaiga intersection, things are looking quite busy. Lower Kabete, absolutely madness this morning. I won't even tell you otherwise. I can also see that Wayaki Way today is looking like a mayhem. From ABC area all the way down towards the Westlands, the mall around the Westlands area is absolutely mad. It's looking like madness this morning. Let me see what's happening on this other side. Ngong Road, actually the spillover starts from Naivas Supermarket Riruta, Naivasha Road all the way down towards Junction Mall. Making your way towards Prestige Plaza, absolute chaos this morning. Langata Road is also looking the same. Traffic starts as you make your way towards the where is this? From Galleria Mall, making your way down towards the Carnival, Uhuru Gardens. All that stretch is looking absolutely crazy this morning. T-Mall, as you make your way towards Raila Odinga Road, is also kupitiki jamani. Let's see what's happening along Mombasa Road. And I can see from the Panari Hotel down towards Capital Center, all that stretch. As you make your way towards the Bunyala Road, things are looking quite busy on your front as well. The same situation also happening along Jogoo Road. It's also looking like a nightmare as you make your way towards the Cabanas bus stop from Imara, and then a little bit of a spillover towards the Eastern Bypass as well. That's what's happening on major roads this morning. But in case where you are, I have not mentioned, and you might want us to know, kindly do so. The hashtag to use, let us know. The hashtag to use is hashtag Power Morning Drive. Let's take a quick music break. When we come back, we get into our day's news updates, and also my guest will be joining us today. We are going to be hosting Mr. Razini, and he's going to tell us about Team Safi and the work that they are doing. Keep it Power Radio.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Vile ninavyohisi, usikae kama mtu anaficha hisia. Huwezi kuficha moto moshi ukitokea. Ukificha mapenzi wewe unaumia ndani ndani. Nashinda kuelewa ini mwenendo gani. Taratibu ni vema lakini siwe kunirushaite. Nishike mkononi twende mbali kwetu, ingawa mbali uko ni nyumbani kwetu. Taratibu ni vema lakini kusiwe mwingine. Nieleze kwa nini wewe una hofu na mimi. Nakupenda, I love you, je t'aime. Hakika tazama uso wangu, nimekumbwa na msasa wa kimapenzi. Natangaza wazi hadharani, nakupenda sana, niko na wewe kufana pole. Kufana kupona baby. Hey. Yeah. Kufana kupona ingawa mbali uko ni nyumbani. Yeah. Imatena kwetu nishike mkononi. Yeah. Kufana kupona baby. Ingawa mbali uko ni nyumbani. Nakupenda sana, niko na wewe kufana kupona. Kufana kupona. Nishike mkononi twende mbali ingawa mbali uko ni nyumbani. Imatena kwetu takupepa maziwa makuu. Nishike mkononi twende mbali ingawa mbali uko ni nyumbani. Imatena hiyo day tulipopatana baby, and I said utaja kuwa my lady someday or not today. Na ku celebrate singing a love song. Wewe na mimi hapa na sasa, ana kivuli cha mwezi tukitazama the stars. Wewe na mimi hapa na sasa, ana kivuli cha mwezi tukitazama the stars. Baby, tabia za furahisha na ukikumbuka hiyo yake sura huwa unakosa subira, ukijiuliza lini tena utamwona. Si nimeelewa, nimejua ukishapendaga hakuna kuchoka, ukishapendaga hakuna mipaka. Si nimeelewa, ukishapendaga hakuna mipaka. No, message your love, niki massage your heart, nakupenda juu umekuwa nami through thick and thin. Sasa nina everything, you and me. See, kwa Mola nilini down on one knee, nikakupisha ring. Si siri baby, si siri baby.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
When the praises go up, barakazina shuka. Praise go up, barakazina shuka. When the praises go up, barakazina shuka. Praise go up, barakazina shuka. Na barakazina shuka. Barakazina
Sifa, Ana, Baraka, Shuka.
Itisha pata 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 pata. Itisha pata 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 pata. Itisha pata 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 pata.
Blessing me faster, kwako hakuna matata. Blessing me faster, kwako hakuna matata. Huku na huku na huku na huku, kwako hakuna matata. Huku na huku na huku na huku, kwako hakuna matata. When the praises go up, baraka zinashuka. Praise go up, baraka zinashuka. When the praises go up, baraka zinashuka. Praise go up, baraka zinashuka. Na baraka zinashuka. Baraka zinashuka.
Niko fresh and clean. Niko fresh and clean. Niko na more flavor, more flavor, more cheddar.
Marriage wax manze come through.
Na watoi warembo so true.
Sina madeni mfuko imejaa.
Tuna live dream tuliota.
Amenipa mengi mengi. Amefanya mengi mengi. Murembo wangu minji minji. Murembo wangu minji minji. Nasema amenipa mengi mengi. Amefanya mengi mengi. Murembo wangu minji minji. Murembo wangu minji minji. Baba.
Sifa, panda, baraka, shuka. Sifa, panda, baraka.
When the praises go up, baraka zinashuka. Praise go up, baraka zinashuka. When the praises go up, baraka zinashuka. Praise go up, baraka zinashuka. Na baraka zinashuka. Baraka zinashuka.
Nilifunga kwa siri, akani bless yo siri, yendo mzingba zenga na ngamu na zoza hapa deva wezi bonga.
Mimi na mimi na mimi na mimi nae baraka zangu.
Mimi na mimi na mimi na mimi nae baraka zangu.
Mimi na mimi na mimi na mimi nae baraka zangu.
Blessing me faster, kwako hakuna matata. Blessing me faster, kwako hakuna matata. Huku na huku na huku na huku, kwako hakuna matata. Huku na huku na huku na huku, kwako hakuna matata. When the praises go up, baraka zinashuka. Praise go up, baraka zinashuka. When the praises go up, baraka zinashuka. Praise go up, baraka zinashuka. Na baraka zinashuka. Baraka zinashuka.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Alrighty, welcome back. That is Dominion Family with Shuka. It's playing right here on Power Radio. This is the Power Morning Drive Show. Yes, where you make your mornings count. My name is Wanyoike and I'm your host. This is, again, I'm pretty excited to have this conversation today. I had mentioned earlier on that we are going to be hosting the one, the only Razini. And I told you, if you do not know who this guy is, please stop living under a cave, come out to civilization and get with the program. And so he's already here with me in studio. But before I let him introduce himself, remember you can get in touch with us on our social media handles. We are Power Radio across all socials. You can also find us on our website, www.power254.org/Power Radio. And also we are on our YouTube channel. You are streaming streaming live. It is PAWA. That's Power Radio. Please subscribe while you're at it. Hit that notification bell so that whenever we go live, you are definitely going to be the first to be in the know. And you can also find us on our website, streaming live as well, www.power254.org/Power Radio. And now my guest is already in studio. It's really good to have you, Mr. Razini, aka Wafula, aka Mr. Mututa, all the names. Utuambie majina zako zote za M-Pesa, zote za venye maboys mtaani wanakuitanga, all of them. Who is Mr. Razini and what is he about?
Thank you very much, Anne, for having me.
Yeah.
It's an amazing pleasure to be here.
For sure.
My name is Wafula Richard Roy Mututa. I go by the name Razini. Razini is my stage name or artist name. I am a lawyer, soon to be advocate, currently completing my pupillage program. I am also a artist. I'm an artist. I sing, I rap, I play guitar. I also do a bit of poetry. And then I am also a project management specialist who's currently working on a project under the umbrella of Team Safi, known as Safisha Fest. Yeah, other than that, I am a big lover of this country, and I am all for seeing that Kenya grows into what it needs to be. And I think that the youth are the direct channel for that revolution. So
Correct.
I am excited about the conversation we have today.
Amazing. Yeah, you do it all. You do it all. Where do you find the time to do everything that you do? That's quite a lineup you have there.
Yeah.
First of all, the name Razini. Where did you come? How did you come up with the name Razini?
So Razini is interesting. So one of my favorite artists is called Common. So he's
The one, the
yes,
the
Common.
rapper.
Yes.
Okay.
So I did a bit of digging,
Okay.
and apparently Common used to go by the name Common Sense.
Okay.
Back in the day.
Right.
And so I have always thought of myself as a conscious artist. So basically just speaking about the things that really matter in society. And so doing my digging, I realized that I wanted a name that spoke the same. So Razini is derivative or comes from Akili Razini.
Okay.
And Akili Razini is common sense.
Oh,
in
Razini.
Swahili.
I was 2 years old.
Yes. So Akili Timamu
Yes.
is what we are used to, which now
Yes.
just means being sane or being, of sound mind.
Yeah.
But Akili Razini is common sense. So it's
Okay.
essentially what you would apply your senses to your daily life to now be able to derive whatever understanding or whatever knowledge you'd expect to
Gotcha.
get. Yeah.
Okay. So that's how you nolitumia akili
Let me
wewe
tell
hapo.
you, let me tell you.
Yeah, Razini. Okay, got it. All right, cool. So we will get into a conversation about the amazing work that you're doing. Mnasafisha rada huku hivi ni nini with Team Safi, but I think it's important for us to note that today the lines of voter registration are opening up. The IEBC has declared that the 29th of September, which is today, is when Kenyans can start enrolling for voter registration.
Yes.
I think the first question that I would have for you is, are you going to be registering
Oh my
as a
God,
voter?
absolutely.
Are you?
I am a registered voter.
Okay.
I find that it is very important that we all ensure that we are registered. I think going even by the statistics from the previous registration, I don't have the full numbers, but I know that a big percentage, especially among the youth, were very apathetic. And so that led to a lot of issues with regards to now how the elections ended up turning out, because people felt that the people who got into power were not the people they wanted, but we didn't show up to vote. So that's a huge gap that I feel that needs to be filled.
Correct.
And so this is an opportunity for us to now also go forward and get our numbers. I mean, get our cards.
Get our cards. Do you think that we are going to see a lot of voter apathy from the young generation? Or do you think they are mostly excited about maybe some of them, it's their first time ever to vote?
Yeah.
Even given the fact that we've just come out of this Gen Z revolution and whatnot, I think the conversation has just been young people being civically active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I think there is an opportunity. More than anything else, I think there's an opportunity here for us to really influence the conversation. And by us, I mean the people who understand it from this perspective, the perspective that this is something that's really important. And you've mentioned the new voters, the people who are 18, 19, just coming into the voting age.
Yeah.
And these are people who can easily be swayed in either direction.
Yeah.
However, the advantage I know we have is what you've actually alluded to, the fact that we have seen a lot of civic action. We've seen several rounds of mandamano. We've seen a lot of conversations take place online, and we've seen an increased percentage of youth involvement or engagement in that regard. And so now I genuinely think that we are going to see a surge in the numbers with regards to the people who actually register as voters. However, I don't think that it would be wise for us to make that assumption without putting our best foot forward as artists, as civic society, as, just all the individuals that have an advantage in terms of knowledge and in terms of just exposure to what this actually means for our society and for our country.
Correct. Right. And while you're at it, guys, Pawa 254 in conjunction with Power Radio, we are running a digital campaign that will just kind of make you, or rather not make you, but we are running a voter registration campaign right now. It's called #nihesabu ndani, #myvotemyvibe. So whenever you are online and you want to continue the conversation, please use these hashtags, the two of them, #nihesabu ndani, #myvotemyvibe, and please share. Just go on Power 254's page, look at the information that is being shared online, and make sure that you share it. Also engage, look at what are some of the conversations that are happening with our digital campaign, and of course we are going to be talking about it as we continue with our conversations much later on, even on other shows, so that you can get yourself into the conversation. I think that will be the end of our local news roundup today. We just wanted to give a special I beg your pardon, a special recognition for the voter registration lines are opening up. And quick segue into our conversation and why we are here with Mr. Razini today. So you are the team lead at Team Safi or Safisha Fest?
I am the team lead at Safisha Fest.
Yes.
We have our founder is the team lead at Team Safi.
Gotcha. Yes. So tell us a little bit about what Team Safi is and the work that you are doing, and then we will talk about Safisha Fest and also what you aim at achieving with Safisha Fest. Yeah. So what is Team Safi?
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
So Team Safi is, in the most simplest form, a group of individuals, predominantly youth, who think that Kenya has a really strong shot at making integrity cool again. Ideally, what we are saying here is that we have so many things that are taking place in our society right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we are inclined, particularly politically, we are inclined to pointing fingers and saying that this particular leader is not doing their job as our MP, as our MCA, as our president. However, Team Safi takes time to really look at things in depth, and we realized that a lot of the complaints that we have could actually be a result of our own undoing at individual level.
Yeah.
And so at Team Safi, what we are saying is, if you take time and really just sit with yourself and think about the things that make up integrity, and the things that influence the kind of leaders we choose, it starts with us. It starts with me. It starts with me waking up in the morning and realizing, oh, okay, I have a responsibility to be punctual to whatever place I am going. I have a responsibility to take a shower, to clean up my house, to just do the basic hygienic elements, or just the things that essentially make me an apt member of society, just as an individual. Now, the thing that happens, once you start to do that thing on routine, then you'll realize that there's a gap.
Yeah.
Especially in society, when you're walking around and you realize, oh, there's a paper, imeangushwa mahali. There's trash that's on a particular corner. There's indications in society when we start to take our own initiative that we now realize are amiss. So then that calls for the communal element. So fine, we want to now start cleaning our spaces. We want to start to clean the things that, the spaces that we work around, live around, shop, and all these things. And so once we start to do that, then that gets us to start to think, oh, okay, so if we are doing this, then what caused this issue to start in the first place? And so we are saying that because of the nudge to do the right thing, we are starting to ask questions about why was the right thing not being done in the first place. And that has a personal reflection on ourselves, because the leaders we elect are not the leaders who are in positions of power are not there by accident. We put them there. We went to the ballot and voted for those people. So we can't claim that we have leaders who are non-integral. We have leaders who are corrupt. We have leaders who are cheating, bribing, and stealing when we are doing that at a small scale in our own personal lives. So Team Safi is about making sure that, first of all, we understand at the very core, at the very primal stage, that we have a role to play individually before we can even start to call anyone else out. So if we play our individual roles, then it's going to start having a ripple effect into our communities, into our families, into society, and into the country as a whole. So that's going to have an immediate reflection on the quality of life we lead, in the kind of societies we grow up in, and in the kind of political structures and governance bodies that we end up putting into power.
Right. So you, in your bid, to make integrity cool again, it means that along the lines, along the way, integrity was uncool, right?
Yeah.
We decided not to choose the way of integrity.
Yeah.
What are some of the causes that or factors that might have led us as a society not to perhaps lead with integrity?
Integrity is it's flowery, but it's not fun. If you really think about it, integrity isn't fun. Let me paint a picture that our founder likes to paint. Our founder's name is Mr. Andrew Ranja.
Okay.
So
Andrew Ranja.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, shout out to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is the image he loves to paint, and I think it's very relatable to a lot of Kenyans. So if you're in a matatu and you are headed to Kawangware, for example, the stretch from Hurlingham all the way to Yaya Center has a lot of traffic most times. And so a lot of matatus would want to overlap, would want to just sort of try cut corners and just make it to the just Yaya Center now, Wapite, in good time. But if you put yourself in that matatu and move along with it. So what integrity looks like is anytime the light turns red, and I think I use Kawangware, but I think Ngong Road even has more traffic lights, which would be a better example. So every single time that light turns red, you stop. And this could be easy on days when you're just going home, you're casual, you're not in a hurry. But think about it if you're going to work. Think about it if you're going to a gig that's going to pay you 100,000 bob, 200,000 bob. You're saying that you're going to choose to stop until that light turns green every single time. So already it's attacking your interests. It's going up against who you'd want the outside world to see you, to perceive you as, especially if you're now pursuing things that are going to enhance you economically or something of the sort. And so integrity sometimes might never really seem as something that is attractive to you because, one, everyone else is overlapping. Everyone else is going to pass that red light. And so it's very easy for you to feel the temptation to do the same. But unfortunately, or rather the reason why that is a problem is because these people are going to overlap and are going to clog up the road at that junction or at that intersection, and a waiting time that would have cost maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 5 minutes is going to cost 30 minutes for traffic police to move from whatever location they were at to come and try sort out that mess. So you might have wanted to take that route, but now you find yourself even in a worse situation than you initially were. Think about it again. You'll take a boda, you want to sort of run the red lights. A lot of accidents have happened in that manner. So integrity is not attractive. Integrity is not as as lucrative an opportunity or a pursuit as what we might want to make it seem. So the reason we are saying we want to make it cool again is because it's going to take so much more than just telling people. It's going to take so much more than just twisting or tweaking certain laws to make it a household thing. It has to start from a cultural revolution. And so for us, we want to see how best can we make the mental perceptions of people view integrity as something of value, even if in the immediate sense, it doesn't seem to carry as much.
All right. You've mentioned two very key things, cultural revolution and mental perceptions. And I think this is where it all begins. But as you know, being a cultural architect yourself, it's really not easy to turn psyches of societies, nations, certain cultures around.
That's true.
So that people can actually have the buy-in of what you're trying to do. So at Safisha Fest, what are you trying to do? And speak to us more about the cultural revolution and the mental perceptions.
Yeah.
Like, how do you plan on going about changing the narratives and the psyches that, because Kenyans, we have a way of doing things.
That's
We
true.
have a way of doing things. So yeah, but here comes Safisha Fest, and
Yeah.
it's like mnataka kusafisha pia how our mental perceptions and mentality around things like integrity. I also that civic responsibility is a big tenet of the
Absolutely.
work that you're doing. So talk to us a little bit about how can we ensure that we deal with these things from that cultural, mental, psyche point of view. Yeah.
Thank you. So the first thing to appreciate is that if you're talking to someone or if you're engaging with people who are 25 years old, 30 years old, and you're calling them to a festival that is dubbed Safisha Fest, that is going to be talking about integrity, you're talking to someone who has been molding who they are intentionally or inadvertently for the past 25, 30 years. And so by that virtue already, there is a mental, I won't call it a lock, but there's an inculcation that has taken place that has led this person to who they are that moment. And so the manner in which to address that cannot be radical, cannot be forceful. Because otherwise, people will just be like, I don't know what you're saying. For me, the bribing angle will be quicker, the stealing angle will be quicker. And, we say these words, they sound like really big things and scary things that you don't want to associate with. But bribing isn't that big a thing. It's going to a government office and paying that 50 shillings to get that document quickly. So it's very easy. It's things that we do very quickly. So what we want to do at Safisha Fest is we're calling people to Safisha Fest because, one, we realized that the youth are very interested in governance issues and governance conversations. However, it's the packaging that throws them off. Because civil society will agree with me that every single time they organize conversations, particularly around for instance, the budget policy statement, anytime it comes around, or the county fiscal strategy paper or the finance bill, the room is not populated well enough by the youth. However, it's not to say that the youth don't want to talk about these things. It's how do you package these things? So we are saying that we have found an interesting way of doing it. The youth want vibes. The youth want sherehe. The youth want to have a fun day and to go home. So we were like, okay, fine. You guys want to have an enjoyment day. We're going to give you an enjoyment day. However, when you show up there, you're going to find games that people are playing. You're going to find presentations and performances that people are going to have, and you're going to have a very short conversation or a panel discussion. Now, every single element about what happens that day is going to be infused with integrity. So it could be in the name of the game. It could be in the moral of the game. It could be in the conversation itself or the topic of conversation that we're going to have. But it is in subtle amounts that makes them curious at the very onset. So the question now becomes, how do we leverage that curiosity going forward? Because we're not saying that we're calling 150 to 200 people in one space and changing their minds overnight. That's not going to happen. But what is going to happen for sure is people are going to be curious about, what's that thing about integrity? Why did they make such a big fuss out of it? Why did we see it from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on October 18th, every single element or every single engagement that we took part in? And so from that point in time, that's when we invite our partners. That's when we bring people in and say, look, we have these many people who signed up for this program, or rather this festival, and they came. And this is a bit of the feedback that they give. What can we do with these people to make sure that this conversation doesn't just stop here? So it only starts at Safisha Fest.
Do we have the date and the venue for
Oh,
Safisha?
absolutely. So we have October 18th.
Okay.
It's going to be a Saturday. It's a long weekend. So yeah, karibuni sana.
Yeah.
We are yet to lock in on a venue. However,
Yeah.
once that venue is going to be confirmed, then we'll make sure to communicate it, and also communicate it through Pawa. So
Yeah, sure.
yeah.
Absolutely. So you've said something interesting, that
Yeah.
the youth always want to be included in conversations around governance, but where we lose them is the packaging. And so the promise of Safisha Fest then becomes packaging, right?
Yes.
It becomes this kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It becomes this place where young people can come and engage in issues of governance.
Yeah.
And you've said things like they want vibes, they want fun, they want sherehe. The criticism or the scrutiny that has always been around young people, inclusion and involvement in political dialogue and also things to do with governance is that you cannot have fun and engage in very serious conversations because the feeling for a long time is that is going to be watered down. So what do you say to somebody who there's a group think around if we're gonna be serious, let's be serious. If we're going to have vibes and sherehe and inshallah, let's have vibes and inshallah. But then comes Safisha Fest where it stands at the intersection of these two things, and so two things can be true at the same time. But it will, I guess, take a paradigm shift to show that you can actually have both. Both can coexist without one watering down the other.
Absolutely.
Because niambia mtu akiwa amelewa pombe utaweza kumwambia stories za integrity. Hapo kutendaje?
Yeah. That's a very good question. Asante. So the first thing I'd like to say to that is we fail at the point of sort of superiority complex in a sense, because that's a disadvantage that comes with sometimes age and experience.
Okay.
So we get to a point in our experience, in our exposure to life, and in just the things that we do on a day-to-day basis that gets us to start to think that, so we know a bit more or much more than the rest of society. And so because we understand and appreciate something to be important, we would like to force it down people's throats in the exact same way that we appreciate it to be the same. Now, that is a misstep, because think about it even in general context. We have different generations. We're saying we have Gen Xers, we have millennials, we have Gen Zs, we have Gen Alpha. What is the point of that subdivision if we're going to start and if we're going to try and imprint the same kind of approaches for these people across that same spectrum? So think about just the difference that reflects, that the different stratas. So we have Gen Xers who grew up in a society where sending letters was the mode of communication. So these people have the patience of sending a message and waiting for 2 or 3 weeks before receiving a reply. Compare that to a Gen Z or a Gen Alpha who will text their boyfriend or their girlfriend and get offended if that boyfriend or girlfriend does not reply within 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. You can't employ the same mechanism or tactic or approach with those two different people. And so this calls for us to appreciate the different dynamisms or the different dynamics within which we exist as a people. And so that means taking time to appreciate, what does this person do? If this person had the opportunity of living life as freely and as unhinged as they wanted to live life, what would they gravitate to doing? So there's a class of generations of people who would easily gravitate to libraries, to reading, to doing all these things. There's a totally different class that's going to listen to podcasts, watch videos, scroll through TikTok. Mm-hmm. And so you can't write books and expect to address the second group of people. You can't write long theses and expect to minister to these same people. You want to make sure that you're meeting these people at their points of need, because then this is what they know naturally. So before you try to even change their minds about something as strong as integrity, first of all, meet them at the points where they feel at home. If you're going to talk to them within the confines of what they consider their habitat, their natural points of existence. Because if you do that, then they're easily going to pay attention to you. I'll give you an example. If we're doing Safisha Fest, we're saying that Safisha Fest is their home ground because ni sherehe, like ni place yenye these people are going to come and have fun. So if you sell it from that point already, they are going to come and then now listen to you. But if you're telling these people you're going to come to a place and the message is going to be this, there's going to be conferences, who are going to come, delegation from Wapi.
Yeah.
They'll be like, okay, we're going to come because there's transport allowance.
Yeah.
They're going to come because there's food or something like that. But that's it. You're going to lose that group of people immediately after that. So we need to take the initiative to understand the dynamics of different people and the different classes. We are going across different age groups, and so that calls for different types of engagement.
So how different is Safisha Fest from, like, for example, the People Dialogue Festival, drunken lectures? I mean, I'm seeing a lot of mushrooming of young people wanting to, spaces wanting to include young people in this kind of conversations. So how different is Safisha Fest from all this?
I think Safisha Fest is an easier digest. I love what PDF is doing. I love what Drunken Lectures are doing because we are moving in that direction.
Right.
But the reason why I'm saying Safisha Fest is an easier digest is because, imagine, by the way, the only serious period of that entire day is going to be 25-30 minutes, which is when the panel discussion is going to happen. And we're going to have a lot of key people who are going to speak there. But predominantly for the 6 hours that they're going to be there, these guys are just going to be playing games, eating food, listening to music and DJ sets, and getting performances from a lot of their favorite artists. The only tweak is that we are making sure that the message that's being slid in intricately is integrity. So remember, these people are essentially coming to have fun, and they're going to have fun through and through. So any point of engagement, anywhere they're going to go, the predominant basis is fun. So that is what I think is the distinguishing factor. That PDF can also have its own element of fun, but has a more mature or a more readily developed mind when it comes to these kinds of conversations. And so you can be a bit more technical with them. We don't want to be technical. We don't want to be too technical at Safisha Fest because we're calling people who are just getting into campus. We're calling people who are 19, 20, 21. These are people who just want to understand, Nairobi nini huwa inaendelea. So that's where we stand.
Right. Before we even talk about structural and systemic integrity, right? Because I know that's a big part of the conversation. I think it has to come from empowering young people to lead themselves with integrity.
Absolutely.
So checking the self. So how can we get young people to even start, like it starts with them, you know, the small decisions they make, whether it's what kind of food you're going to cook yourself for dinner today. Like, is there what's today? Well, English.
Formula?
English.
Cheat code?
Is there like to channel integrity, basically,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
To channel integrity before it becomes this systemic and structural, things, and before we even get to hold the government accountable. How can we first empower young people to start looking within and start leading themselves with integrity first, before it can spill over towards systemic national politics and then structural things? Yeah.
So I have taken part in a program called Taifa Teule Leadership Experience. So it's under the umbrella of Taifa Teule Network, which again is also founded by Mr. Andrew Ranja. So Taifa Teule is essentially a 10-week program that takes you through basically just lessons on leadership and exposure to just issues around governance and what it calls of you as an individual. Now there's community service intertwined there. There's lessons on fundraising. There's lessons on, but what I'd like to borrow from there, more importantly, is the very first lesson begins with me. So who am I? And we talk about our spiritual beliefs. We talk about our passions. We talk about our abilities. We talk about our professional backgrounds, and we talk about our experiences. Now, it's the understanding of these 5 things that molds us into appreciating that there's something that we bring to the table as individuals, first and foremost. Now, the focus I'd like to bring is the second phase, which is now where it goes to leading other people. So once you have these 5 things, you can lead yourself. Leading other people calls you to understand what other people hold dear to themselves. And so that conversation now leads us or helps us pivot into what can I do with my limited or, with my understanding of my spiritual background, my passions, my abilities, my professional experience, my professional background and my experience. What can I do with this knowledge that can now be of value to person X, person Y, person Z? And we're not saying person X, person Y, person Z who lives in Webuye, another one who lives in Burundi, another one. No. We're saying at the family level, I have gone through TLX, I have gone through this experience. I know my brother needs to understand something that he is not doing right. My mother needs to understand something that she has been doing oblivious, but could actually be something that is very vital. And so kukaza to basically just emphasizing and saying that this is really important. So put more emphasis on this thing. And so the call here is to say that it doesn't have to take finances. It doesn't have to take a huge podium. It takes an understanding of leadership, that leadership is self. Leadership starts at my level and the small sphere of influence that I have. So I could be a Sunday school teacher. I could be just a worker somewhere in an office or at a factory. I have people that I have conversations with over lunch, on my way home, on my way to work. That should be my starting point. I should be able to sit these people down and say, oh, by the way, guys, have you thought about why Kenyans bribe as much as they do? Have you thought about why it is easy for us to jump a red light? Have you thought about why it is easy for us to pick up that 50 shilling note that has dropped from the stranger, the pocket of the stranger just in front of us, and pocket that? And have we started to ask ourselves the right questions in that regard? And so it's easy for me to come to you because we are friends and tell you that what you're doing is probably not the right thing to do. And if I went to someone else, that becomes a different conversation because I don't have that kind of relationship with them. And so we need to take advantage of that small sphere of influence that we have already and to now grow it from there. If I do it, you do it, she does it, then we're going to start seeing the ripple effects.
Correct. I think there is a disconnect between how we define integrity and maybe perhaps young people don't even know. Well, that's an assumption. They do know, but there's a specific thing that is lost in translation when conversations around integrity come up. So how would you define integrity? Yeah.
There's an interesting quote I came by recently, and it says that the naked man fears no pickpockets. And how I choose to interpret that is that the person who has nothing to hide will not fear going out to the in public and saying that this is who I am, this is me, and that's the authentic self speaking. And so for me, integrity is walking the talk. Even when there's not a single camera inside. So this is someone who says that this is my stance. This is someone who proclaims it to his friends, to his family, in front of the crowd, and still lives by those standards when the cameras are turned out. So that's my definition of integrity.
Yeah. Is Safisha Fest? This is going to be the inaugural one, right?
Yes.
Okay, but there is definitely
Absolutely.
a sustainability plan, right? What do you envision for even 10th edition from this point? Yeah.
Oh my! By that
Yeah,
time, we
yeah.
are looking at. So we want to work with artists to be the ones to now come and help us push this conversation. But the vision for us is very, very simple. We are saying that because of the kind of demographic we're focusing on, these are people who have a strong voice in society. Already, the youth in general are the majority in terms of population. But more importantly, the youth are very strongly inclined towards artistry. And so what their artists, the kind of message that their artists push has a strong inclination on what these people hold valuable or dear in their lives.
Yeah.
And so our vision is to get to a point where we bring artists together in some sort of collective agreement whereby artists are able to speak in one voice. Artists are able to stand and say that this is the position we hold as an artists union of some sort, if I can call it that. And because we are 60, 70, 100, 200 different artists, each one of us is bringing a fan base of 10,000 people. That's a large number of people. So what we are saying is we are seeing that some of the conversations that we are trying to push in terms of integrity and good governance might not always see the success that we hope they achieve, simply because it's not coming from enough microphones. So we are saying that the goal for then Safisha Fest becomes, how can we bring every single artist? Of course, every single is a stretch, but how can we bring as many artists as possible to speak in one voice, so that then that can be the unanimous voice of the entire magnitude of the fan base that is behind them. And we know that if they push for the right reforms, then we are going to see a huge change, because we are saying that this entire voting bloc will support this mandate simply because these artists are pushing for it, and this is what is good for Kenya. So you can easily go against 100 people, but it's going to be a problem when you start going against 2 million people, when you start going against 5 million people.
Yeah.
So that's the goal.
And is there an entry fee to Safisha Fest?
Oh, absolutely not.
No,
Safisha
it's free.
Fest is free of charge. Like I said, we want as many people as possible to come on board and to know that this is an environment that is for them, and is a matter of just getting them to really do the right thing. So yeah.
All right, cool. We are in conversation with Mr. Wafula Mututa, aka Razini. Amesema Akili Razini. And we're talking about all things to do with integrity. We are going to take a short break. When we come back, we continue with our conversation. Keep it Pawa Radio, where you make your mornings count.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Our radio.
Nakazana, bati mapenzi ni hasara. When things fall apart, pangala, 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 pangala. Tuliacha kupendana, siku hizi si tunakosana. And things fall apart, pangala, 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 pangala. Things fall apart, pangala. Things fall apart, pangala. Things fall apart, pangala, 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 pangala. Nakumbuka tukianza safari na maono mbalimbali, uliahidi utanijali na mimi nitakujali. Sijui wapi si tulipata ajali, mapenzi matamu yakawa kali na nikageuza serikali. Daily mimi nakazana, bati mapenzi ni hasara. When things fall apart, pangala, 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 pangala. Tuliacha kupendana, siku hizi si tunakosana. And things fall apart, pangala, 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 pangala. Things fall apart, pangala. Things fall apart, pangala. Things fall apart, pangala, 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 pangala. Nikisikia walia, my heart breaks in two. But does it mean I should leave out the things you put me through? I am a person like you. You are a person like me. We are not perfect, I know. So why don't we set each other free? Nikisikia walia, my heart breaks in two. But does it mean I should leave out the things you put me through? I am a person like you, and you are a person like me. We are not perfect, I know. So why don't we set each other free? You daily mimi nakazana, but di mapenzi ni hasara. When things fall apart, di bangala, 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 bangala. Tuliacha kupendana, siku hizi si tunakosana. And things fall apart, di bangala, 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 bangala. Things fall apart, di bangala. Things fall apart, the bangala. Things fall apart, the bangala. Bangala, bangala, bangala. Things fall apart, the bangala. Things fall apart, the bangala. Things fall apart, the bangala. Bangala, bangala, bangala.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night.
Power Radio.
Antonio Muzaneza, Loga Mushima Nai Bay, Sultani, Sulemani, Tropicana, Omda Fel, Yulu, Ive Yulu, Otokase.
Nakuomba mpenzi unisikize, tafadhali baby tuliza moyo, kwa kweli niko wako, hiyo siwe na shaka. Wewe kaa ukitabasamu mara tu ukiniona, penzi letu halina kasoro. Mimi nawe twapendana kiroho, nakusihi tuliza moyo.
Sherekea, furahia, penzi letu, baby. Cheza, imba, penzi wangu, kichuna changu. Sherekea, furahia, penzi letu, baby. Cheza, imba,
penzi wangu, kichuna changu. Kichuna changu.
Jeje Omoni, Mama Nana, Restaurant Karisimi.
Nisikize baby kwa makini, kwa kweli mimi nimekutamani. Tokea zamani kilichoko mpenzi, wewe nipe nafasi, nikupe penzi hujawahi pewa, nikuguse mahali hujawahi guswa, kwa maana penzi langu halina doa. Kwa hivyo sasa tufunge ndoa, tuishi pamoja milele.
sherekea, furahia, penzi letu,
Cheza na mimi,
cheza,
kichuna
imba, penzi wangu, kichuna changu. Sherekea, furahia, penzi letu, baby.
cheza baby, cheza baby, kichuna changu.
Sherekea, furahia, penzi letu, baby.
Cheza baby,
Imba, penzi wangu, kichuna changu.
kichuna wo.
Sherekea, furahia, penzi letu, baby. Cheza,
Cheza na mimi, cheza na oh, mpenzi wangu, sikiza wito wangu, siwezi kuishi bila wewe. Oh, kichuna changu, songa karibu nami kushike, kubusu, kushike, shike, 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 shike.
Charles Ogada, Omoni Jeje, Genius, Genius. Kibido.
Penzi letu halina kasoro, kwa hivyo sasa tufunge ndoa, tuishi pamoja milele baby.
sherekea, furahia, penzi letu, baby.
Baby.
Cheza,
Cheza na tete Omondi Cheza baby Kituna tangu Kituna yeah Cheza Cheza baby Cheza na mimi Kidumu kipido Kidumu kipido Na tete Omondi Antonio Musalesa
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night.
All right, welcome back. That is Kidum with Kichuna, and right before that we had Pangala by yours truly, Razini.
Yes,
What
yes.
was that song about? Tell us.
Hey, Pangala was a season. Pangala was a season. Let's just say that. But no. Honestly, I think the funniest thing is that it came. I ended up writing it out of such a spontaneous conversation I was having with my current girlfriend. And then I don't remember what she was making reference to because we weren't even talking about relationships. I don't think we were.
Yeah.
And then she just mentioned something, and then ended up coming up with that. So
Right,
it was fun.
Fun. Pangala. Pangala.
Yes.
You say that it's the
The sound of
sound
breaking. Yeah, exactly.
things falling apart. I don't know anything that could really go well with Pangala like Nairobi situationships because the entanglements in this city. Hey, tuachane tu nayo. Welcome back. This is the Power Morning Drive Show. Yes, where you make your mornings count. My name is Wanyoike. We're still in conversation with Mr. Wafula, Mututa, aka Razini, and we are deep into the meat and the bones of our discussion today. We are talking about integrity and why it is important for us to make it cool again. So let's talk about Integrity Center. It's right here, somewhere. I don't know where.
Yeah.
Somewhere just near our office here. And, the role of bodies like Integrity Center and oversight, independent oversight bodies in restoring integrity. What role do you think such bodies play in terms of talking about restoring integrity? But because, again, in Kenya, that's a dicey conversation because the same places are the same ones that we are having to hear, scandals of corruption. And so you wonder, what are we doing? Yeah. So there is, I guess, a breakage of public trust with our structures, with our systems. And so it becomes an uphill battle from there. It becomes an uphill task. So where do we even start with this conversation of the bodies that have been allocated this work of integrity, but then again, seemingly so, they're also caught up in the matrix.
You've put it quite rightly. It's a shame because we would want to see that these are the places we can easily go to and have audience or access to just the channel for communication. And I think I'd start it there because you've just said that the issue of trust. So trust is the currency that finances integrity, or rather just finances good governance. If we don't trust what you're doing or what you're saying, then there's a bit of an issue there. So independent bodies have, number one, the first mandate is to remain independent. These are bodies that should be comfortably relied upon as being independent bodies. I should be able to go there and I know very well that whatever I'm pushing or whatever I am trying to communicate to them remains priority for them regardless of whatever conversation is going on amongst the three arms of government. So number one. Number two, should be a strong channel for citizen intervention. Some of these places have even platforms where you can do whistleblowing, where you can have conversations that about things that are not going right in terms of the governance. However, we don't always feel that is an avenue that we can pursue. And we have seen that even in recent occurrences where whistleblowing has led to people not retaining their jobs. So there's an independence issue, there's a channeling issue, and of course we are saying that some of these places also have an investigative capacity. And that, of course, is strengthened by the fact that they have a budget, they have capacity, they have institutions within them or infrastructure within them that allows them to go to the ground and really just dig up enough information about what is going on. So on paper, these people have, or these organizations have, as much capacity as you can ask of them. It's just the practicality that we're lacking.
Correct. Wow. I want us to take a couple of comments here. Naona mafans wamefika. Wako in the building. Shout out to Faith Simano. Anasema Wafula is clapping. She's clapping. Thank you so much, Faith Simano, for taking the time to make your mornings count with us on Power Morning Drive this morning. Osotwa anasema fact on fact. Umelipa watu.
Let me tell you,
ngapi
baby,
wewe? Umetenga ngapi? We also have Tugi Grace. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Anasema integrity is everyone's responsibility if we want accountability.
Absolutely.
You will get to respond to that. We also have shout out to Stephanie Mburu and clap. Rachel Lendi, shout out to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to spend your morning with us. She's also clapping and putting her hands up. We also have Oswotwa saying, I am enjoying the conversation. And we are enjoying you enjoying the conversation. Do you know what I mean? We do this each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So please come back and make this your only show. We also have Oswotwa saying, Pangala! And I give love to the song that was playing. We see you, Esther Ninga. Thank you so much for spending the time with us. Emmanuel Misiati anasema it begins with us, and the fight for integrity is not just for young people, but also all generations. Yes, absolutely. And you're going to respond to that as well. But thank you so much, Emmanuel Misiati, for taking the time to join us this morning on Power Radio. And last but not least, we have Nduta anasema great convo, big up Power. Big up to you as well, Shori. We salute you, each and every person that is joining us this morning. Asanteni sana for the time. Yeah, so, those are very incredible sentiments there. You know that it has to begin with us. The fight for integrity is not just for young people, but it is multi-generational. Yes. And we also had a thing, Tugi Grace was saying integrity is everybody's responsibility if we want accountability. You could broad brush this sentiments from our listeners and audience this morning. Yeah.
No, thank you. I totally agree with them. I particularly love the sentiments that Grace Tugi and Misiati have fronted, because I feel like they're almost intertwined in a sense, because they say that at the end of the day, it's going to boil down to everyone. Remember when the Mandamano happened last year, the first one, based on the Finance Bill of 2024, it was sparked by the Gen Zs. But from that point on, we collectively saw generations come together and merge forces, going out into the streets and also causing a row on social media just to propel that conversation or just to propel that message. I think it qualifies the movement when we have the intergenerational capacity or the intergenerational conversation. Because remember, what the counter to what we were doing last year was that these people are young, they don't know what they're doing, they don't know anything about this finance bill, and we were countering them on so many other fronts. They tried to use the tribe card on us. It did not work. They tried to say that the comments about our ignorance, but people were translating this thing into sign language, into mother tongue, into sharing. There's so many things that we were able to achieve. But at the end of the day, we only have so much in terms of our arsenal. So we need the financial backing. We need the parental backing, in fact. Some parents, of course, scared for our lives. And rightly so. It's not easy going out in the streets if you know that could be your last day. And we've seen that happen for so many people, and it's very sad that was the case. But that conversation, or rather that doesn't have to be the end goal if at all we see every single age group, every single individual in their own small capacity, however young, however old, taking part in that conversation. And yeah, we've seen that start to take shape, and I know we're going to grow and grow stronger into that.
All right. Another comment. Samuel Mwangi anasema great conversation. Thank you so much for locking in. Thank you so much for locking in. Right. The issue of public mistrust. It's clearly, I mean, this is not something that we are going to. I don't know. We might have forever to deal with this, you know. I mean, hearing conversations with Kenyans in terms of their relationship with the government, in their relationship with the public sector, there's such a mistrust.
That's true.
And there's such a paranoia from Kenyan citizens, you know. So even as we talk about integrity, it's going to be quite a job to get over the public mistrust that we experience as Kenyans on a daily.
Yeah.
How does Team Safi plan on toppling that kind of stronghold? Because kind of is. But you can't blame Kenyans for being
absolutely not.
Paranoid.
Absolutely
you know?
not.
Yes.
Kenyans have all the right to feel the mistrust that they feel. And of course, we've seen that expression in so many ways. We've mentioned Mandamano, we've mentioned the online conversations. Some of the people who are a bit well off, or even those who have decided that this country is not for them, have decided to pursue further studies and with the strong goal of not coming back because they feel like this country is not for them anymore.
Yeah.
However, one thing I think I'd like to encourage us to believe first and foremost that this is a winnable battle. In the same way that corruption took root in this country, integrity can do the same. And we don't have to see major changes for us to start getting the motivation to continue pushing for this. Remember, again, corruption started with one person deciding that they can cut corners somewhere, and that became a trend, and that trickled down the road. So we want to be able to get people to a point of understanding and appreciation that this is going to be a long battle to fight, but it's a very necessary one, and it's a very winnable one.
Yeah.
One of the ways we feel that the trust can be rebuilt among people is if we see initiative from the duty bearers. And how this initiative can take place is, remember, you've called it a relationship. And any kind of relationship, be it familial, be it romantic, be it just
platonic.
Yeah, whatever. Every kind of relationship is based on responsibility.
Correct.
So at the very basic state, can these people take responsibility for what they have done? Can they come and say, we are sorry because we did A, B, C? Now, that's not going to give us money. That's not going to bring back whatever they did. However, that's the first step, taking initiative and saying we are owning up to what happened and we are taking responsibility and not giving excuses, because a lot of excuses is what throws people off even more. And so start by start by owning up, then take responsibility of what you've done. And then where it is possible, give us corrective measures. Start to show that you are inclined to making things better for us, because we put you there. We put you in that capacity, and so we need to start the leaders need to now get to understand that trust building is going to take a lot of work, because for you to have broken trust, you have taken advantage of something that was given to you out of a lot of struggle. We really found it deep inside of us to trust you with this mantle. So you cannot expect us to easily now get back on your wagon.
Yeah.
So we need to start to see that people have a level of ownership of the mistake, responsibility taken, and start to see some corrective measures. And sometimes, unfortunately, some of those corrective measures could actually be stepping down. And say that stepping down is an option here, because if you truly, truly love Kenya in the manner that you say that you love Kenya as our leader, then show it by saying you'd like someone else who is more fit to take up that role. Because remember, integrity is such it's such a feeble fabric.
Yeah.
It can take so much to build, But the minute you tear it at one point, then it's already weak. We can't see you in the same light again unless we start to see real change. And sometimes, unfortunately, that change would look like you stepping down and saying that someone else should be the one to take up that mantle. And we've seen it. It takes place in different countries. We saw it with the German president in 2012. We saw it with, I know we've seen it in several cases in the UK as well, where party ideologies did not agree. You did not agree with the party ideologies at the time, and you didn't force your way through, because at the end of the day, the country is so much bigger than you are. And so you want to embrace that and say that, okay, fine. If I'm not fit, then it's fine. In Africa in general, we struggle with that a lot. And before presidents step down, we're either getting to the levels of a coup, or we're getting to the levels of multiple votes of no confidence or multiple impeachment motions. And sometimes even those people, bulldoze through. So that's the mismatch that exists.
One of the biggest threat of integrity is always lack of political goodwill, right? I feel like social goodwill is even more, there's a more guarantee for us achieving, but political goodwill, my goodness, wah. So how do we ensure that we champion for political goodwill so that we can get everybody hands on deck in the push for integrity?
So I'll throw politicians a bone with this and say that at the end of the day, every politician, especially those in elective positions, just wants to be re-elected. That is the end goal. Every single time they get in, the immediate mission is for the next 5 years. What can I do to protect my interest in such a way that I can get back into this office? Whatever you want to get back into the office to do is entirely up to you. But now that becomes the primary goal. These people just want to come back to office. So unfortunately, in the country right now, the mode, or rather the type of voter that we are, the type of voters that we are the people who are insatiable, who will always want to see the flashy stuff. So these are the people we are people who are calling politicians to forums, to funerals, to weddings, wakuje watuchangie. So we see that money, we see the flashiness, and then we're excited by that.
Correct.
But we don't realize that the kind of budgets that are secluded, or rather just set aside for these kinds of... those figures don't match up. Those figures don't match up. And these people don't make those many millions from their pockets. So people should start asking themselves, hii pesa inatoka wapi? This is budgeted corruption. So a lot of the things that we start to ask of our leaders sometimes puts them in difficult positions as well. So we also need to mature as a voting bloc. But of course, that's going to take a while. What I see as our avenue for resolving that is civil society can actually come into the conversation and try to hold to bridge the gap between the citizenry and the politicians, or rather, and the leaders, in ensuring that citizens understand the mandate of the leaders, and that mandate cannot always be pegged on handouts. That mandate cannot always be pegged on how much this person is willing to give me every single time they show up for a rally or anything. It needs to mature. The conversation needs to mature and say, forget about that 500 bob you're going to give me. I want to see a road. I want to see this hospital working. I want to see these schools operational. When that becomes a conversation, these people will realize they're not going to have it as easy. So they're going to actually have to work within that period. So that period allows them then to put their foot down, or just sit down and work on the projects that need to be worked on, because then they now understand the mature citizenry that we have become will always demand to see the visual things, or rather the things that they promised once they were coming in, or rather the things that are vital for us in our society or in our different contexts. So when that becomes the reality, that means that we're going to start to see the change we expect to see. The leaders are also going to start becoming a bit more mature, because they're not going to come and dish out money. They're going to come and make sure that they're going to do the job that they're going to do, because at the end of the day, they know these people are going to vote based on the change they see.
Correct. I have to ask a question about you as an artist. What is the role of artists in all this?
I think artists hold the loudest or the biggest microphone in this. And it's unfortunate, because sometimes it's not the most welcome conversation. Artists in this country will become or often come out of some rebellious background. And so already you're facing resistance at home. If your parents or guardians or brothers, sisters, etc. don't see where you're going with this artistic thing of yours, that becomes a backlash kidogo. So already you're looking for a way out. Now, when you face that resistance at home, you face that resistance even in terms of the policies that exist, because in Kenya we can definitely go a much further distance in making sure that artists are properly provided for. When you start to face that kind of resistance, you become inclined towards taking the money. You become inclined towards looking for where the money is coming from. And unfortunately, if the money is coming from the people who are asking you to sing for you or chant for you or get crowds to chant their praises or their campaigns, then that's where you're going to go. So unfortunately, we have not been, as artists, we have not been secured as fastly or as adeptly as it needs to be, because ideally what artists should be able to do is use their platform to channel whatever is going on in the society at the moment. So we need to be able to talk about the corrupt proceedings. And artists are creative. Artists we don't have to, I think the fear usually is that if you name this person, if you name person X, then utakujiwa. If you talk about these things, utakujiwa. Which there's always that threat. That threat is always going to be there. However, we can be creative about it. Like we say in Safisha Fest, if we are doing it in such a way that we are introducing the conversation about integrity in a creative manner, chini ya maji tu pole pole, then there can be an avenue for that as well in the artistic space. There can be an avenue for you to build your artistic base and then start to channel out music or start to channel out poetic pieces, etc., that starts to make people really curious about what integrity is. It doesn't have to be immediately radical, because remember, we're trying to change this conversation pole pole. But people's minds need to start thinking in a particular light, and artists have that cheat code.
Kenyans don't have time for progressive things.
Oh, yeah?
Pole pole. We want the change now, like yesterday. Like yesterday. Yeah.
And that's I think that's a hurdle we all need to be ready to face. That's a hurdle we all need to be ready to face. And that's why I think that the creativity element is important. The creative avenue is important, because creativity sort of buys us time kidogo. The Kenyan won't come and sit in a boardroom, fine. So Mkenya atakuja kwa sherehe, bet we're going to be there. We're going to start pushing it pole pole. Akitoka kwa sherehe ataenda wapi? Sijui club mali nini. Follow them, make sure you have their interests catered for. And then start to include or introduce that conversation pole pole. It's going to take a while. And even as we speak as Team Safi, this is what we're saying we can do currently at a zero budget. What if some other organizations can now come on board and say, this is what we have. Perhaps we can try and think of creative ways that might include funding, but have the capacity of now going the extra mile. So creativity, I think being able to think about solutions on your feet and not depending on external aid every single time allows you to start at least taking the initiative before now getting the support.
What got you interested in this? I mean, you are here campaigning for us to plug in, but there has to be something that made you plug in fully, and there was a buy-in for you, right, as Razini. So what is your buy-in? Hey, ndio tu hata sisi tukiplug in kwa hii movement, kila mtu anajua, you know. Yeah.
Look, the integrity conversation is a long, tedious, boring one. Can very easily be that,
right?
But what people need to be able to remember is that at the end of the day, you want to live in a space that has integrity. Remember what we said, unaweza jaribu kuruka traffic light, uko mbele unakutana na karao, anasimamisha hiyo gari, inashikwa, you guys have to get off that matatu and board another one. These are risks you're running every single day.
Correct.
You will throw that piece of paper, it will seem like a very small thing that you're doing, but there's a dump site that's going to start piling up at that point. It's going to block your road, and one day you're going to be late for that interview or you're late for that flight, and it's going to to strike you at that exact point. My buy-in was very interesting. At second year of campus, I was very introverted. Sikuwa naongea na watu mimi I know. I feel the face. Yeah, I was very introverted. So what I used to do, I was very clever. What I used to do is to walk around with my guitar, because if I'm walking around with my guitar,
you are one of
I'll
those.
because it was an easy trick. Someone will ask me to sing a song, then I'll sing a song, and then that's the
Such
basis of the conversation.
Yes.
That's the basis of the conversation.
Correct.
However, that slowly got me to a point of quote unquote popularity in campus, and then now I was soon introduced to Taifa Teule leadership experience.
Okay.
And I was introduced to Taifa Teule because of that kind of exposure, because the person who came and said, by the way, there's this group of youth who are thinking in a particular line, and you might be interested because, guys just want to vibe and have a good time there. So I went there, and my personal buy-in was, I have a clan of people who allow me to be myself without feeling that I have to be caged up as an introvert. And so community is a very big element of this. And the one thing that I think other generations might not really fully understand is, even as artists, when you're trying to push for your agenda, for your message, you always just want someone to love you back.
Yeah.
You always just want to have a community of people that embrace you for who you are. And we are saying that that's what Team Safi is about. We are saying that that's where you can come and be yourself and listen to this conversation about integrity. And it's going to be fun because we're going to have food, we're going to have music, we're going to have sherehe, we're going to have good vibes. And at times, that's how these communities have to start. That's how religious bodies start. That's how political bodies start. That's how it has to start, from a core point of belief. Correct. And people who are willing to think in a particular line, people who share values, and people who at some point in time within that conversation just want to take the edge off and have one or two bites of food here and there. So that slowly now ripples into what it can be. So the conversation around integrity has a space for everyone to just come in and plug in and be themselves.
Right. What do you think the role of our radio and media is in propelling this conversation?
My gosh. I think media, importantly, is to, first of all, maintain the independence. I know it's not always easy, especially for some of the stations that exist, but the independence
mainstream.
The mainstream, it can be very difficult for the mainstream because a lot of financing is now attached to that, and also political influence can come into the conversation in that regard. But the independence is really important because right now we have 20, 30, 40 people listening, 100 people, 200 people, 1,000 people listening, who amongst them might be 5 people who are like, there's people who think like this, and there's people who want to also try and do this kind of thing. Okay, so I have 10,000 bob in my pocket. What can that mean for this entire initiative? Or I have always been looking to plug in as an artist. What would that mean? So first of all, being bold about the message. We need to get to a point where we realize that it's not just about what comes in immediately into our pockets. Then the media stations, the reporters need to go find beyond. And we've seen some of the newspapers, of course I won't mention them, but some of the newspapers have gone to the extent of now being very catchy in terms of their headlines. And that has begun to cause that conversation to spark.
They have set a new standard.
Pun
intended.
Yeah. So that's one thing. Another thing, and especially for our current youth, is podcasts. And I think podcasts is a new stream that we are starting to see become or gain popularity.
Correct.
Now, these spaces also have a lot of influence, and they have the capacity to go out and just be bold about the message. So above all else, I feel like just maintaining the independence and being as bold as possible in terms of passing that message, because there's always someone who might be listening who can cause the spark that requires, who has the spark required to just cause the change that we're looking for.
Wow. Incredible. We are really pressed for time. Let me read the last couple of comments. Okay. Catherine Simiyu, shout out to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Anasema, great values there. Keep going rich. All right. Bernard Sioi, anasema, great convo. And Sheila Kimeu, you are an inspiration. As a young person, lawyer, soon to be an advocate and a leader, proud of you. Wait. Why? Your community is the one.
I'm telling
Big
you.
up to you guys, manze. Wamechafua wabuku. It's incredible. But I mean, this has been really phenomenal. But we only have 2 minutes left of our time today. For a young Kenyan who is listening in and they don't know what role they can play to plug in your parting shot, just give us a clarion call as young people. Why is it so important for them to engage and plug into the work that Team Safi is doing, the work that Safisha Fest is planning to do, and why is it so important for young people to write themselves in the story of integrity in this country? Because I think it's important. Yeah, and then lastly, you can also tell people where to find you guys, where to find you yourself.
Yeah.
Uza Sera.
Yes.
Let's go.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
My parting shot to people is very simple. Choose Kenya. Choose Kenya. At Team Safi, we say, I choose Kenya. And we say, I choose Kenya because Kenya is all we have. Anywhere else you might want to go might seem lucrative now because we're in this context, up until you get there and realize that there's such a strong bond to home that it is almost impossible for you to now feel the comfort that you thought wasn't comfort even when you are in your country. And then someone has to do it. And this is our opportunity to be someone.
Yeah.
Of course, we know the common adage of the wise people are the people who plant trees whose shade they have they might never enjoy. And the people, in a twisted sort of messed up way, the people who planted the seeds of corruption, the very first corrupt people did not enjoy the kind of corruption that the people are currently enjoying now. The money they stole back then is fractions of what people are enjoying now through the proceeds of corruption. And so now the undoing of the same is the exact same way. Are we bold enough to go out and say, doesn't matter what age I am, doesn't matter my gender, it doesn't matter my capacity, doesn't matter my financial background, it does not matter how big or small I consider myself. What am I doing to make sure that I live a life that is full of integrity? And because I do this, someone else is going to emulate me and push the conversation forward. Because that is the reality. We always have a sphere of influence around ourselves, whether we consider ourselves leaders or not. We have that small sister, that small brother who is looking up to us every single day, everywhere we go. Do it for them. Do it for them. Choose Kenya for them. You may see a government that is fully practicing integrity before you pass away, or you may not. But do it, because if you don't do it, then who will?
If you don't do it, then who will? Wow. I mean, I will echo what Stefan Mburu, shout out to you, is saying. This has been such an informative conversation, and I will agree. You are really brilliant, and thank you so much for opening this space for young people.
Absolutely.
We need it. We need it, please. Watu wamekuwa kitu gatekeeper, and so maybe Team Safi and Safisha Fest is our last saving grace for this kind of conversation. So thank you so much. Where do people find you?
We go by Team Safi KE. I know there's an underscore for one of them, but if you look up Team Safi KE on X or on Instagram, you'll be able to find us, and please give us a follow. All the information about the projects that we are doing, we mentioned the cleanups, and the cleanups are under the umbrella of Safisha Mta. So Safisha Mta is our product for taking initiative as a people, going out to the ground and actually cleaning, as being our signature for showing that we want to change this country purposefully, not by pointing fingers. And we've seen this. It took place this Saturday that's just passed, but there's going to be several other cycles to come.
Okay.
So please follow us, and you'll be able to follow up and see all the things, the wonderful things.
The cool things. Right. As they make integrity cool again. And also follow him, Razini. Ataki kujiu.
_ Razini, killer place.
Yes, please, and listen to all his music. Yes. But Mr. Wafula Mututa, Mututa. It's been such a pleasure hosting you.
The
And thank you
mine.
so much for coming on to Power Radio.
Thank you very much.
And all the best in your in what you're doing with Safisha. And we hope that this movement is going to sweep across the 254.
Thank you very,
and
very
beyond.
much. Amen.
And beyond.
And beyond.
Yes. Alrighty, guys, it has been such an honor having you all. I just want to say thank you so much for the people that have taken their time to be with us. Kama Sande Suji, if we don't do it, then who will? Sheila Kimeo, Bernard Sioi, Samuel Mwangi, Nduta, Estaninga, Emmanuel Misiati, Stephanie Mburu, Rachel Lendi, Osotwa, Faith Simano. Thank you so much, guys, for spending the morning with us on the Power Morning Drive Show. We will see you on Wednesday, this Wednesday from 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. I shall be hosting Mr. Jerry Hillary, and we are going to be talking about empowering young people through civic tech. How can they ensure that inclusion in governance and political spaces is happening? But mostly we are going to give a sharp focus on civic tech and the work that Siasa Place is doing in opening up that space. So do join me then this coming Wednesday from 8 a.m. all the way till 10 a.m. as we discuss all that jazz. But before I let you go, I have to put you on. From 11 a.m., please catch Shiversations with Caroline Murote. And then from 5 p.m., you can catch our in-house advocate of the High Court, Mr. James Wanyoike. He comes in with Sharia Dive. And then that's it. Of course, Monday, I have to tell you, the biggest fellowship that happens at Nairobi Cinema from 5 p.m. It is Fitness in the Word. I'm going to be there. If you want to come and say hello to me, please nipate pale Nairobi Cinema. We happen each and every Monday from 5 p.m. all the way till 8 p.m. It's really a great time to come and spend time in the presence of the Lord, listening and dissecting his word correctly, because that's what the Bible says. And so we'll see you then. But until then, goodbye for now. Thank you so much for taking the time to spend your morning with us. As usual, let your mornings count with Power Morning Drive. See you on Wednesday.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Akisha sema, amesema, habadili, mapenzi yake kwetu ni kamili, atujali, Bwana akisha sema, amesema, habadili, mapenzi yake kwetu ni kamili, atujali,
Unapopigwa na vita, kumbuka Yesu yu hai. Hata unapolemewa, muite yeye akujali. Mzigo wako na kilio chako, shida zako ni ndogo kwake. Usiogope, usibabaike, njoo kwake akufariji.
akisha sema, amesema, habadili, mapenzi yake kwetu ni kamili, atujali, Bwana akisha sema, amesema, habadili, yake kwetu ni kamili, atujali. Even when we're faithless, you're always, always faithful. And when I doubted you, you always, always came through. My rock and defender, wewe ni Ebeneza, hakuna usichokiweza. Lord, you are
My everything.
akishasema, amesema, mapenzi yake kwetu ni kamili, atujali. Akishasema, amesema, habadili. Mapenzi yake kwetu ni kamili, atujali. Mapenzi yake ni kamili, mapenzi yo,
Yake ni kamili.
mapenzi yake, mapenzi yo,
Yake ni kamili. Yake ni kamili. Yake ni kamili.
From sunrise to sunset.